hello all. So, welcome to a new video. But today we have a different type of video. Actually, what we did, we had post a poll on Instagram. So you might have seen the story, and we had two of the things. One was a technical discussion, and another was a podcast. So 88% of people wanted a technical discussion. So we are here with Dhiraj Gaikwad. So hello Dhiraj, like welcome to our technical talks. And so he's the guy who is from day zero, and he works in the operation team for the Edgeline Championship. So let's hear from him and let's start.
Okay, thank you, Rakesh, for inviting me. So I hope this will be a great talk for the viewers as well, and in person for us.
So Dhiraj, I had few questions. So how did you join this mechanical thing and Supra Go-Kart? So how did everything start? So I just want to know about that.
Okay, talking about the journey, how I started it. So from childhood as well, I was enthusiastic and interested towards motorsports and all. Actually, one thing is that I used to buy a Bonvita because they were gifting a small car at that time. So for that car, I used to buy the Bonvita.
Oh, that's interesting. I never heard that, but that's a good thing. Okay. Yeah, okay. That's interesting.
So,
Let's go forward. Let's see.
Yeah, then like when I was pursuing for like when I was trying to choose a branch, so I was confused between the automobile and mechanical.
Okay.
So based upon the criteria, I was more suitable for the mechanical as compared to. So I get into mechanical. From the first year itself, I was more tended towards the motorsports and other events. From my school days, I was into the organizer side for the organizing events and all. So eventually in the from second year, I was into the MESA committee for organizing other robo races, and then
so in events you already have interest
for the
in
technical
that.
sides.
Okay.
That I did. And last year I got a chance to be a part of Supra and Go-Kart. So I was a design head for the my Supra team. I was handling design analysis as well as the costing department.
Yeah, costing thing I know because we were in the team, right? And so about the design thing, okay. So as you told, like you came in final year, but how did you learn this design software? Like, did you come to Supra and you learned everything in the workshop, or you did it somewhere else in your other 2-3 years? What did you do about that?
According to academics, the designing part was introduced in our syllabus from the second year.
Okay.
But I generated interest towards it, so I did external courses for it as of my personal interest, and then I utilize that information and knowledge in the team.
Yeah. So, what about the challenges? So, as you told, you learned in your second year, and then you went to workshop. So, was there any difference? Like teachers teach something, and in practical you see something else. Like it's similar. Like I agree, but the practical knowledge is way more best. That's what I see. So, I want to hear about that.
Yeah, for the design and analysis thing, it's upon your imagination first thing.
I agree. Totally agree.
And what we learn in academics is they are just for like we need to know the basic commands. We need to know what are the basic operations we can perform. So it is all about that.
Okay.
Because within like they have to follow specific structure for it. So it is not possible to dive deep into it.
Okay.
So for that I did external courses as of my interest. So
as per your interest, you did external courses as well.
Yep.
Okay.
And there I was trying to design and model different parts which are not existing. So what I can imagine that I was trying to put into a model.
So now after this you went into Go-Kart Supra.
Yes.
And that time, so we used to sit in a workshop, but we had a different whole target and it was a big thing.
Yes.
Yeah, as per that time. So what about that? So I need to know the difference, like what was the teaching difference and the practical difference what you saw.
Yeah,
in learning as well as the designing.
Yeah, in the learning we knew basic commands and all, but what we required for the Supra was beyond that.
Yeah, that's totally correct.
Yeah, just actually we were morely into the sketchings and surfacing for which is not taught by teachers or which is not involved in that much in the academics or not in external courses. If you are trying to do external courses, you will need to do specialization for it.
Okay.
So usually we learn about the sheet metal thing, and that same thing we apply.
Okay.
So in that
yeah,
uh,
go
in
on, go
that
on.
thing, firstly, I tried, I just put some coordinates. I tried to connect it,
Mm-hmm.
and with wires, I tried to make a simple chassis of it
Mm-hmm.
to get a basic look of it, like how it will look, and whether that design is satisfying all the parameters mentioned in
Okay.
the rule book or not.
Yes,
Then
yes,
after
yes.
we moved further with the analysis.
Okay. Did you get frustrated in this
Yeah,
point?
obviously, like,
So, like, so is there a student like going through that phase and he's like frustrated? Do you want to say like to what else he can do and how he can go forward in that?
yeah, instead of directly touching to the softwares, I would recommend you to try to put it on paper first.
Okay.
If you
So,
can put it on paper, then it is easy for you to imagine it in 3D way and
okay.
draw it in
So
softwares.
first phase is imagining.
Yep.
Then I go and write it down on the paper,
Right.
and I see myself what I wrote, and I make a change on that, and
Yeah.
I make the change and I put it on the CAD applications, and that's how you are saying we can do that. That's a really great thing.
Yeah, what we followed in our team is we had a team of 5.
Okay.
So each person had liberty to think and come up with their own design.
Mm-hmm.
Then we used to iterate on it, which is the best one. Or sometimes like what I have designed, which is somewhat weaker in terms of what other person have designed. So
Okay.
we used to pick up the optimum one.
Okay.
So that way we design our card.
Okay. So coming to this, so now the college things has gone. Okay. So now we are in other different thing, and after college is done, now we are even taking the events and all. So students give you the design and design everything, the CAD models like A to Z things. Okay.
Yeah.
So what do you see in them? So there was a time you used to create those design and submit to a event. Now
Yeah.
people are giving it to you. Yeah, times changes. That's good.
Yeah.
And now, what do you see in that design, and what do you want from that design? I want to know that.
Yeah, but the basic error what I noticed like while checking the students' design is what they suppose we need a joint, right? Suppose
Joint.
yeah,
Okay.
3 pipes are being joined at a single point, so
Hmm.
they won't bother about whether they're joined correctly or they're touching the surface or they're passing it.
Okay.
Like
Yeah. Go on, go on. I
you're
got
getting
it.
what I'm
Yeah.
trying to say,
There
right?
are 3 joints. Yes,
Yeah.
I get it.
So
Yeah.
what happens? Those 3 pipes get merged, intersected into each other.
Okay. Mm-hmm.
So that design, if you're carrying, so it will give an error while you're analyzing it, but you can suppress it. But the suppression will create an issue. You won't get an exact result. But when you are going for the same thing in realistic, that is not possible. There won't be any intersection in between.
Mm-hmm.
They'll be just touching the surface
Yeah,
and
touching the
you'll be
surface
welding.
and there will be
Yeah.
welding, right?
The same thing need to be replicated in the model as well.
Okay. So you saw these things in the design reports, and like I think it might be a common thing. So
Yeah, it
that's
is
why.
common.
Yeah, that's why you have mentioned. So I think that's a point of line they can improve.
Yeah,
And
surely.
yes, so you have done student level design. Okay.
Yeah.
Then now after your college is over, so you go to industry. So in that industry, like what is the difference between industrial design versus student design? So as I guess, student design is like little bit smaller. Like smaller means there's not much detail. But if you go in industry, there are hundreds of different things. So what is that impact and the difference?
Yeah. Suppose if you need to design a single pipe for
Pipe. Okay.
instead of pipe, we'll take an example of Venturi, which we
Venturi.
designed for the Supra.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Right.
So when we design it for at the college level, what we just think that we need this much aperture for
Yes.
the opening to
Opening.
pass it.
Okay.
But when it is considered for in when it is considered in industry view, they consider it to use it in at a large scale or it for the future benefit as well. If I'm designing a part, it should be reusable, not just for the sake. I'm designing for this vehicle, so it should not be only for that one. It should capture the other part as well, or for other vehicles, it should be usable.
Right.
So that's
Okay.
that what we call it perception.
Okay.
The perception matters. And then design wise, if you get in industry, there are more parameters like as they are manufacturing it for the larger scale, they choose go for the perfect material.
Yes.
The perfect one is
all weather according to the
the
all weather.
availability
So
and the costing.
yeah,
In that sense, I'm calling perfect.
yes.
But when you're designing a single, we don't think about it that much. So that's one difference.
Yes.
I need to put.
So my next question. So in this one, let's come back to Edgeline Go-Kart. Okay.
Okay.
So basically, you handle the event presentation, static and dynamic. But let's stick on to static. And in that point, specifically, I want to focus on design presentation. So what is the logic behind that? So students are coming with the design presentation, and what's your point of view like on the design? So they are presenting, that's fine. But what mainly you look into that? And what's your vision? Like that's what we want to hear.
Yeah, what I look for in the design is first thing is they need to be design or model what are the cars they're manufacturing, but in that frame which we have provided as a rule book. If it is there, then the next stage come what they have done. As earlier I mentioned in the CAD part, they in the intersection one, that's the one issue. Then secondly, what they choose, they didn't do. Sorry, what they choose is they want to design their own things for each and every part.
Okay.
Like for the steerings, they want their own design. Otherwise, for aesthetics, they want their own design.
Okay.
But which is in sometimes which is not acceptable or which is not feasible for them to use. So whatever you're designing, keep in mind if you're going to manufacture it in large scale. So that time as well, it should be feasible for you, for everyone.
Okay.
Usually teams have two drivers and they try to make it compact.
Okay.
Unnecessarily they try to make it a compact design. Eventually it will lead to any issue, any problems. So at the initial stage, when you're designing it, try to go for a middle way. So that both the drivers can see it.
Okay.
So middle way I mean is the average height you choose, average length you choose.
Okay.
That will help you to fit in case your one driver is not able to drive it.
The other could take over, and that should not create any problems.
Yes, exactly.
Okay.
Secondly, after these parameters and all, how you are making it sturdy. By looking your design, you'll get an idea. Like if this card is being hit or this, I want to use it. At what points it may have issue. Like in most of these cases, the steering wheel is not proper. It is not mounted properly.
Yeah, and even in the events I saw their play.
Yeah,
that play is things.
7-degree play we can adjust.
Okay,
we can approve it. Okay. That's a manufacturing thing.
It's also created by students. So
so that we'll neglect. But if it is exceeding 7-degree, 10-degree, 20-degree, so then it is not acceptable because that driver will not be able to understand where the wheel is going.
Okay.
In the go-kart, the steering ratio is 1:1 because when the driver is sitting, instead of looking at the wheels, he should be able to feel where the wheel is turning.
Okay, by
just by turning.
Correct.
That's why it is 1:1.
Okay.
Which is not followed in the commercial vehicles.
United Go-Kart, I don't know. Okay, this one. Yeah. So thanks for telling. Okay.
So these minute things matters, and again, if I'm talking about the steering, the camber and caster angle.
Okay.
Usually people don't understand what is it. I don't want to go in depth, but I'll just tell you what's the correlation between it. If the camber is plus, the caster should be minus. So that they will compensate. Otherwise, what will happen when you're turning? In ideal condition, both the wheels should be touching to the ground. But in that case, one will be lifted up.
Yeah, while taking a turn,
it
right?
may give an advantage in
incline.
No. It may give you advantage while skid pads and autocross, but to overcome the same thing, I designed personally what track should be there for the autocross and all.
Okay, so you basically see the designs of
that's the reason.
And then you design it.
Yeah, the tracks are designed in different way for each and every event.
Yeah, I saw that. So that's your whole logic behind that. And as per the cards, you do that.
Yeah. For skid pad, what I do, I take an average. What are the cards available? Usually, what I think is I'll go for the average length which we have provided.
Mm-hmm.
But that depends. Like suppose the maximum kart of a 50-inch length, so I'll have to consider 50-inch.
Okay, that's why you are always breaking our heads in autocross.
Yeah.
In both of the event, this guy is like breaking our head. His design is totally different, and like what he does, we also don't know. And we just go far away from him. Just let him design the track and just let it go. It happens, and I want to see this event's design. Okay, and what's it gonna be?
Sure,
And
sure, sure.
everyone is excited. Okay, and this time no one is coming near you. You will be the one who will design the tracks. Tell me, like I'll come and arrange everything. I'm not going to tell anything. Okay.
Yeah, sure. Like in the Bangalore event, you could have seen one team was there.
Mm-hmm.
They thought they are initially very good at cornering things.
Okay.
But when they get into the autocross track, they were not able to complete it.
Mhm.
Even with the we gave them 2 opportunities, but they were not able to finish it. That's the reason. And at the same thing, I told him at the design presentation as well, ki this is not matching. You need to work on this.
Okay.
But they ignored it.
So you might have given them a suggestion, right?
Yeah, I
So you
already
can make
given
this
them.
change. Okay. So you gave them suggestion.
Yeah, in design
Because we
presentation
do.
itself. Yeah,
Mhm.
in design presentation itself, I told them like what you're designing. No, I'm okay with it. You if you're trying to go for the compact one, but this thing will not work at the dynamic event. But they ignored it and they came up with the same thing.
And suffered. Okay. Yes. So basically, you talk as per the future design of the track.
Yeah, and
So-
what I expect is what they're presenting in the design presentation.
Uh-huh.
The same card should be there
Okay.
at the event.
Okay. You show a design, one design, and track cart is something else. So you don't want that.
Yeah, for that we have penalties.
Okay.
If you don't take any permissions that we are making such changes and which are approved by the judges after the design presentation.
After the design presentation.
Then there's some penalty for you
Yeah, that depends. Okay.
because that's not fair for other teams.
Yeah, that's totally correct. Okay, that's one nice information. What's the evaluation system? So you give points to the team, and how do you evaluate that?
Yeah, for evaluation we have space. For evaluation we have specified procedure like how we'll do the evaluations for which thing, how much weightage will be there. That things we have already decided. What are the judges are there for? I'll talk first for the static one. They'll check whether this file is submitted or not. Like, we have already mentioned everything in the rule book. We need this file, this file, this file.
Okay.
If it is not there, surely they won't get marks for it.
Okay.
But and then for the how they are delivering it, some teams will provide you data of like 30 GB, 40 GB, 80 GB.
Oh, why? Okay. What's
Yeah,
in that? I don't know. Like what's in that 30-40 GB?
They'll give CAD part, the
Okay.
analysis part for each and everything what they have designed from past 4-5 years or 10 years. What are the data there? So I want to break that. If you are providing this much data and you're thinking that yeah we'll get marks for it, it's not gonna happen.
Okay.
We'll check each and everything. Based upon what you have submitted, you'll get marks. But if you are not able to deliver it properly, so you won't get mark for that submission as well.
Okay.
So make sure what you're submitting it is designed by your team and you know everything about it. If it is carried forward by the previous team, get in touch with your seniors
And
try
get
to
that knowledge with them.
Yes.
Okay.
And
So you might ask anything about the
cause this-
design.
I have heard many a times like we borrowed this from our seniors and this was the previous design. I'm okay with it. If that works for you, go for it. But
Okay.
you should understand the analytics, the what's the reason behind it. So that should be there.
Okay. That's a good thing.
And for the dynamic, based upon the times and everything, we have a dedicated person for it. Thus, the same person will calculate the time. Because
Right.
if we are considering a human error, so it will be by the same person.
Okay.
So it will be same for each and every team.
Okay.
So that's why we'll follow what the time or what are the count that person is telling us. We'll go for it.
Okay. Hey, about that event, like I have a question. Okay. So, what if a guy like they cleared a TI, cleared brake test, they did autocross, they the another thing skid pad. So they did skid pad, and then they came to endurance. and they came first in endurance. They made the highest lap over there. And so, is this necessary that team only will win, or is there any other things? And what is the process of evaluation? The first guy, second, and third, the overall awards. So, what is the calculation behind that?
Yeah, talking about the endurance, there might be possibility that person may win, but it's not clear that suppose what team made highest lap, that only that team will win. The other parameters are there, how they are performing the static,
Okay,
the static
static.
scores.
Okay.
Then braking is an qualifying round. So
Yeah.
then your acceleration, then skid pad, autocross, how they are performing, and in the endurance. Like what happens? People design specific card for the endurance. Like so, in that case, they'll perform better in endurance as compared to other event.
Okay.
But here we won't consider if you have won the endurance. That doesn't mean you'll won the entire title, the whole title.
Okay.
That's not how it works.
So, skid pad has different scores,
Yeah.
autocross has different scores, and static scores. So, you calculate everything A to Z, and you get a score. So, that's how we declare overall winner, right?
Yes, right. So because that each and every competition is for testing a particular thing for the card. Like skid pad is for testing your turning, how your
Okay,
steering
right.
works.
Uh huh.
Autocross is for testing your how you are carrying your entire body, entire weight of your cart, driver skills, and the steering.
Okay.
Acceleration is to check with how you are optimizing your engine power.
Right.
That's why each and every event matters.
Right.
And in
So,
endurance, what you are going, how firm or how confident cart you have built.
okay. After
We'll,
endurance, yes.
we'll have a small check of each and every cart
Okay.
just to check whether their parts are intact or something is
Okay,
loosened up.
okay.
That thing that also matters. Even if you have won the race or if you have won the endurance, if your parts are losing up, so
Yeah, right.
it's as a design fault.
Design fault. Okay. That's one thing like students should take care of.
Yes.
That means, yeah,
Yeah, we
they have
had an
points.
experience in the Bangalore event.
Yes. Yeah, we saw that one, but that leads to safety issues,
Yeah,
and that could.
that's why we have a side base to park that way card immediately.
Yeah, if we see some issue, so in the endurance point, we see some issue, we'll just pull that card down,
Sure.
and there's that service bay, and we'll just check if everything is fine. You can just go, and if you have any issue, like the team member should come and fix it immediately,
Yeah.
and that should go forward. So that's our rules, right?
Yes,
That's also good.
because it's not, it is a competition, but as well we need to check for the safety of others.
Yeah, it's a student life, so we can't risk it, and we need to be like
The safety is the first priority.
yeah. That's really good. So let's take a point of organizers' view. Okay. So as that point, do you see any changes required in this go-kart events? And like, is there something which is wrong and it is going forward, but you think that it should be changed and that should be the new legacy?
We can't say it's wrong, but the thing is, whatever knowledge we are gaining, we need to pass it to the next team or the next generation of your team. So that will help them to grow, and they won't make those mistakes which have been made by their seniors.
So there is one thing we do in events which I totally love, and I think this is totally groundbreaking and different. That if a student is making some issues and he made a fault, so we are not our judges will not say that this is wrong, you need to fix this, but they will actually tell you how to fix that.
Yeah.
And they will tell an engineering term also, like why this is required. So it's like practical and theoretical knowledge,
At the same
and
time.
yeah, we are actually teaching them, so we are giving our knowledge to them as well. So as my point of view, as I judged many events, so I didn't see that much learning session going over there. So we are providing that thing in our events, so that's one thing I really love. So what do you think about that?
Yeah, that time of event, if you are suggesting something to a team, so it's their high time to do it. So there is a saying, खींचे हुए कान से मिला हुआ ज्ञान लंबे समय तक याद रहता है.
Okay. Nice.
So we are following that, and what we are trying with this, we are trying to normalize things. There's suppose new team is there,
Okay.
they don't know anything about it. Like, but after one event of Edgeline, they should be able to compete for 3-4 years experienced team.
Right,
That's
right,
our
right,
motto.
right.
So what will at the end goal is to keep everyone at the same level.
Ah,
Then it will be fair competition for you.
Uh-huh.
And we want to standardize things.
okay.
Then only team will try to improvise things in performance wise. Now the thing is they want to make different designs. They want to showcase themselves. They want to be aesthetic. But at the same time they need to be ergonomic.
Mm-hmm.
Aesthetics doesn't come single-handedly. Ergonomics should be there. If
Okay.
your card is looking good, okay, but it is not feasible to use,
Yeah.
it's trash.
Yeah, as per your terms, right? That's totally agreed. That's really good. So now I'm and I end of the questions, and we are about time.
Okay.
So I hereby conclude our technical discussion, where as a 5-year-old knowledge guy in design technical things, and I learned way too much. And thank you so much, Dhiraj, for explaining this. And
Thank you.
even I'll do something with this knowledge. So
Sure.
that's our basic thing, right? So we pass on knowledge, and that knowledge should be used in their forward life. And yes, I really like this session.
Yeah,
So hope
thank
you
you.
guys do as well. And my favorite thing is to say something, that is our third event will be on Pune, and it's on February 6 to February 9 in Ajinkya D.Y. Patil School of Engineering, Logao. So I hope you students watching this should register immediately by seeing this video. Like, I think you should do that, and I'll hope I will see you in the event as well. So if you guys saw the video, so you can just come up to us and you can just tell. So I'll know, right? You guys watched the video, and that's really good. And is there anything, Dheeraj, you want to say
Yeah,
to students?
Yeah. If you have any questions, any doubts, you can reach out to us. We'll be there for you.
Yeah.
And all the best.